Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the IFG vlog. So the idea behind this is that we want to take you on our journey as founders, as a young startup, and take you through the highs and lows of what it takes to be a startup, to be a Muslim startup, and inshallah at the end of the journey, we get to some level of success. So in this episode, we'll introduce you to our lovely offices. We talk about our first event that we did in East Ham. We'll inshallah go up to Oxford and meet a really bunch of interesting startups up there, and we welcome a whole bunch of new people to the IFG team, which I'll introduce you to. So welcome to the offices that we've taken out. I say offices, I mean it's literally 2 desks at the moment because we're a small but growing startup. We're at the Islam Channel offices, and they've got some really good facilities here that a startup can use really easily. They've got, obviously, Islam Channel is a media channel, so they've got some great studios. They've got a little podcast room, and it's great to be part of like a wider business because you don't feel alone in any way, and you get all sorts of really interesting people from the Muslim community coming through the doors that you just bump into. So absolutely loving it. And they have free food, so literally can't go wrong. So yeah, let's give you a quick tour of the offices. So here we have a bit of a storage area where you can chuck your bikes and that sort of thing. We have like the main area where people sit and work. Then we've got the kitchen. Fantastic little perk of being here is you get some free hot chocolate when it works. Here we go. And I'm a bit concerned, to be honest, because I think I'm going to become really fat if I stay here for a few months. And but fantastic coffee. And if you want, you can always get breakfast as well. So you get like Cocoa Pops, Weetabix, some kind of like granola, whatever you want. This is where we sit, just over here. Then you've got. This is like the studio area where you have to be a bit quieter because they can be live. So there's like a studio in there, there's a studio in there, and then, it's all right, you carry on. So there's only 2 of us, but there's obviously the Islam Channel team. You can see everywhere, all around us. So this is the prayer room. Fantastic. It's great to have, three salat that you can do in Jama'ah every day. Absolutely fantastic. This is Sheikh Yusuf. Yusuf, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And here we have like a little studio area downstairs, which is great. Just down here. This lovely little studio that Islam Channel are building out at the moment. We went to Oxford for a couple of days. Immediately after I went full time, it was the first thing we did. And both Mohsen and I studied up there, so it was great to be back and go to like the old burger places and all that sort of thing. But the reason why we went there was because a part of what we do at Islamic Finance Gurus, we want to invest in startups and help new startups coming along. And the Oxford Foundry is a fantastic place where there's a whole bunch of really cool startups being incubated. And so we went up there to see their pitch night. By the way, this is Lincoln College, Oxford. Mohsen's.
It's not the entirety of it.
No, I actually think that's Brasenose, my old college over there, although I can't be certain. But anyway, it's a nice building. It's a very nice place, this. So Mohsen and I have been camped out here because we're here at an event, and we've just been hanging out. If you're an Oxford alumnus, then you can get access to this room. So we're now off to the Foundry event that we've come to Oxford for. You've got Sheikh Mohsen getting ready.
Indeed.
We're looking forward to this. As you will probably know, most of you, we've got a bit of an angel syndicate that we run, and every month we invest in 1 or 2 startups, and a whole bunch of them have actually come out of the Oxford Foundry. So we thought we'd actually get to the source and find out what it's all about, and hopefully find a few more deals.
Try and meet Biz Stone as well.
Yeah, get in there, try and get his card. It was brilliant to see actually a couple of Muslim startups up there as well, which is really good for the Muslim community because, where we need the next big things to be Muslim, and the next big things are coming out of the startup community. So that's where we want young Muslims to be getting into. So that was great. Then we caught up with an academic friend of ours who's now a fellow at a college. We did a podcast interview with him, which inshallah we'll be releasing shortly.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the Millionaire Muslim podcast. I'm here with none other than Oxford Don and old acquaintance of ours,
yes,
Sheikh Wahbi Al-Buri.
I think he's a doctor these days.
Dr. Wahbi Al-Buri, and my esteemed colleague Ibrahim Khan.
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
And then it was a great time actually just to be spending with Mohsin because Mohsin is actually based up in Bolton. I'm based in London. It was great hanging out with him and just being able to talk in person about where we think Islamic Finance Guru is going to go, where we need to be working on, all that sort of thing. So yeah, brilliant.
This is bootstrapping life with Ibrahim's approach to laundry.
Damn right, we're not going to spend any money on this. Look, it's clean as new. It's fantastic.
Right, let's head out to that meeting now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so with Islamic Finance Guru, a big part of what we do is educate people because there's so many things, like really simple things that Muslims and everyone could be doing that adds hundreds of thousands, literally sometimes, onto their wealth and people aren't doing it. So the reason why we do these events is because we want to go out to people and get them where they are. So like in mosques, in schools, universities, wherever they are, we're going to go there inshallah and just get that message out there.
So what event did we do today?
So we were at Bilal Masjid in East Ham, and we were talking about how Muslims can return to our former glory. So we're just talking about various different things that we as Muslims can do to get there. But in a nutshell, get richer is I think the answer.
That's very good advice.
Yeah.
And what was the feedback from the audience?
Alhamdulillah, it was good. No one pelted us with stones, so I see that as a positive. So happy days. How do you find it?
Fantastic. I found it great. It was amazing. Really, really insightful. Very energetic. So that was fantastic. I love that.
I think the biggest fear right now is, are we going to deliver? I mean, this is going to sound a bit like Ricky Gervais out of The Office, but are we going to live up to our mission? We've got a big mission, which is making Muslims globally wealthier. And alhamdulillah, we're doing well. We get a lot of traffic on Islamic Finance Guru. We help tens of thousands of people now. But the mission is global, right? And we need to really succeed in order to get, Muslims are 20% poorer than the rest of the world. That's a big difference. So we need to be really good in order to bridge that gap. So that's one, honestly, that's one of my fears. The other fear is, obviously I've walked away from my corporate law job, right? So we've literally, both Mohsen and I have knocked off, 6 figures off our salaries. So it's kind of, make or break time. We've dived in head first, and we need to either swim or we're going to sink. So there's that whole fear side of things as well.
To be honest, I think the biggest fear that I've got of this whole, going full time, leaving our corporate jobs is probably that we don't have a manual. There's no guide. We don't know if we're doing this right. When I make a decision on my to-do list, or we make a decision as a team on what we're tackling this month, there isn't any guide that says, this is what you need to do to build this mission successfully. But really, there's no manual for this. It's not like going to university where there's a very structured route through your degree and then applying to, city jobs where you have these graduate programs and you're phased in and you're very much, you've got the security blanket. There is no security blanket with this. And frankly, I don't know if we're doing it right.
Honestly, I think if you're a young Muslim thinking about what's best for your career, give it a shot. Like if you're entrepreneurial, take a couple of years out and give it a shot and do a startup. If you've got a great idea, there's money that people will invest in you. I mean, we have our angel syndicate, which invests in particularly Muslims, but generally as well. But there's a whole bunch of other money out there as well, because the risk is very low, because people, even if they fail in a startup, they don't really risk that much. But if you succeed, literally the world is your oyster. So, give it a bash if that's your thing. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, IFG is here to help you make money and save money. And please do subscribe to our channel to hear about all of our halal investment tips and saving tips here first. And leave us a comment. If you'd like us to cover anything, we'd love to know. Salam.